My name is Kami Viswanathan, and I'm Senior Vice President at FedEx for India, Middle East, and Africa, and also a member of the board of the USIBC. It's a pleasure to be with you this morning at the India Ideas Summit, which provides a great platform for constructive and active engagement between the US and Indian governments and the private sector of both our countries. There is tremendous opportunity to work together, both to strengthen existing economic and trade partnerships, as well as capitalize on new ones, like the Indo-Pacific Economic Framework. And this gathering, hosted for the first time in the US post-pandemic, is highly valuable, coming as it does ahead of the much-anticipated state visit by Prime Minister Modi next week. I was eager to join you all today for two reasons. First, the theme of this year's summit, trust, resilience, and growth, truly resonates with us at FedEx. We operate a complex, interconnected global network of aircraft and trucks powered by our workforce of almost 530,000 people to deliver reliably and efficiently for our customers across 220 countries. Trusted and resilient supply chains are the core of our business and vital to support trade growth and prosperity of the global economy. FedEx has been in India since 1997, and we're committed to supporting the growing bilateral trade between the countries, which is now well in excess of $100 billion. Second, the opportunity to introduce His Excellency Taranjit Singh Sandhu, Ambassador of India to the United States and a friend of FedEx. Ambassador Sandhu is one of the most experienced Indian diplomats and an expert on the US-India relationship. Having previously served here in multiple capacities, he has seen the strategic partnership evolve over many years. During a distinguished career spanning over 30 years in the Indian Foreign Service, he has served in Sri Lanka and Germany and set up the Indian Embassy in Ukraine. His wisdom and perspectives have enhanced India's relationship with the United States, and I know this audience will be enriched by his expertise and insights today. So, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Ambassador Taranjit Singh Sandhu.
Thank you, Ambassador Keshup, Ed, and the leadership of USIBC, industry captains, friends. I'm delighted to be able to address the 48th India Ideas Summit, an annual general meeting, and to meet you all here at this beautiful and magnificent venue in the heart of Washington, D.C. I was just going through the agenda and I saw a galaxy of leaders. I was here last evening too, and that makes it doubly hard to say something new, something novel. And after all, it is Ideas Summit. One has to measure up. Atul always gives me difficult tasks. 2023 is a special year for India, and for many reasons. Importantly, it holds the chair of G20. India's leadership of G20 has brought new energy and direction. Friends, USIBC and the Chamber have been a strong source of support for India-US partnership over many years. You have applauded us when we did well. You have been candid with us when you felt we could have done better. You have provided guidance and insights on commercial and strategic partnership. My special thanks to Atul, a dear friend who has been a fellow traveler, as he mentioned, in the India-US partnership over the years. Last evening, I mentioned about the Union Station. I don't think many of you picked it up, and I'm glad you didn't. In 2013, December, on a very cold and a rainy day, Atul and I received our incoming ambassador, Dr. S. Jaishankar. And it was indeed gloomy times. I will not say anything more on that, but you can find out what was happening in December 2013. We have seen from various vantage points the steady progress in the relationship. Over time, we have overcome the skeptics and cynics. And I would like to quote here my External Affairs Minister, Dr. Jaishankar, who recently said, "Diplomacy is for the optimists." In no small part, Atul has conspired with me in this over the years. And what a journey it has been. When I look back at the last 25 years on the India-US account, I am filled with a sense of deep satisfaction and optimism. We are together today by purpose, reason, comfort, design, and destiny. As world's largest and oldest democracies, as pluralistic nations, as market economies, as societies that respect innovation, we have a lot in common. From the initial 3 words in our constitutions, we the people, to the ideals of our leaders, Gandhiji, Martin Luther King, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, to the inspiring stories of the freedom struggle, we hold dear shared values and aspirations. The 4 million strong Indian American diaspora in the United States and the 200,000 Indian students in the United States, both of which Secretary Blinken mentioned about yesterday, are living examples of the strong bond of friendship between our 2 countries. Demographic connect and democratic connect are natural for us. The United States has the necessary capital and the technology know-how, while we offer both the scale and the talent. This is a stock which anyone would bet on. Friends, over the last 6 months, we have had a flurry of activity. You take any day there is a delegation from India in the United States or an American visitor in India. Even as I speak, National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan is in New Delhi. There is an unmistakable energy and a drive, a desire to get things done across sectors. It was just in the end of January this year, and in this very building, the 2 NSAs, along with Commerce Secretary Raimondo, spoke about the complementarities in our vision at the ISET Roundtable, where we discussed the need for our strategic, commercial, and scientific worlds to converge. India-US initiative on critical and emerging technologies has been a game changer in our partnership. Needless to say, all this adds up to the historic visit of Prime Minister to Washington, D.C. In about a week from now, Prime Minister Modi will be received by President Biden at the White House for a state visit. As Atul mentioned, this will be only the 3rd time in our independent history that an India's leader is accorded this honor by a US president. It will also be a rare occasion where Prime Minister will address a joint session of Congress for the second time, joining a select group of world leaders and the only Indian leader to do so twice. There will also be other important engagements, but let me say no more, lest I break the suspense. Last time, when my Prime Minister addressed the United States Congress in 2016, he spoke about overcoming the hesitations of history. It is a measure of how far we have come in this last 7 years. We have fixed our gaze firmly on the future, building our cooperation from the seas to the stars. The tagline for India-US relationship, which I like the most, is a partnership like no other. And you may think that this is what good diplomats say about every relationship. Believe me, this is unique. Today at the Ideas Summit, I have 5 ideas, or rather thoughts, that I want to share. 1, do not be miserly in setting new goals. Be ambitious. We cannot dream small. We cannot afford to dream small. Given our strengths and synergies, we need to challenge ourselves every day. Tell us the next big ideas for partnership, how we can use our respective strengths most effectively. If you look at India's own journey in the last decade, we have reasons to be ambitious. In 2009, and I'm only talking of 2009, 17% of people in India had bank accounts. 15% used digital payments. 4% had a unique digital identity. And about 37% had mobile phones. Today, 80% have bank accounts. More than 80% of the households in India use digital payments. Nearly 99% of the population has unique IDs, and more than 90% have mobile phones. Remember, all these in a country of 1.4 billion people. We had 445 startups in 2016. Today, we have more than 90,000 startups in India, with more than 100 of them having achieved the unicorn status and counting. We have built the 3rd largest startup ecosystem in the world today. I can go on and on. In each of your fields, I urge you to be uber ambitious. We are, after all, talking about the big and the best. 2, focus on R&D and tech. I say this for a variety of reasons. Tech is a force multiplier. Tech affects almost every sector today. Tech has strategic implications. Tech is about trust. India is already a home to global R&D centers of several foreign companies. However, we can do a lot more together. We need to build on the existing connects between Silicon Valley and Silicon Alley with cities like Bangalore and Hyderabad. We also need to look beyond, as talent is not housed in any particular area or community. 3rd, related to this, is skilling. Our societies cannot be future ready if we do not skill the present generation. In this space too, I am glad to see the good work that is going on. We want to see more US universities in India and more US companies strengthening Indian talent for our shared goal. I'm also happy to see good work of the Indian companies. In the United States, more than 200 Indian companies are present. A recent report by CII indicates more than $40 billion of investments by these companies, with many leading the way in skilling the US force. Many of the Indian industry leaders are present in this room today. My special compliments to them. We are collaborating on this also under IPEF and Quad. The IPEF STEM exchange program was announced at the recent IPEF Ministerial in Detroit for early and mid-career professionals. You are well aware of the Quad STEM Fellowship, but I am sure if you saw the outcomes of the recent Quad Summit in Hiroshima, we announced Quad Infrastructure Fellowships, at least 1,800 of them, to share best practices on high-standard infrastructure projects. We also announced increased collaboration amongst our scientists and experts on subjects such as ocean research, as well as next-generation agriculture. My fourth point is a bit more philosophical, but also practical. If experience is good, remember it. If experience is not so good, forget it. We cannot be held hostage to our past. There have been times when things would have shaped up or mashed up to your expectations. That should not be a reason for you not to try again. Believe me, it works. I'm not trying to play the old Robert Bruce story, but it has its merits. My last point to you today is play the long game. Sprint has its charm, but who can discount the importance of a marathon or a test match or even climbing Mount Everest? Lord Keynes may have said, we are all dead in the long run. However, it is important to have tenacity and vision. Geopolitics has taught us the follies of overdependence on single geographies. We ended up here because we played short balls, took decisions which were easy. We need to diversify, build resilient, reliable, sustainable supply chains. We have already seen many US companies take the advantage of opportunity of PLI schemes in India, including most recently Apple and its supplier Foxconn. It is estimated that by 2025, 1 out of every 4 iPhones in the world will be manufactured in India. But we need more such stories. As you approach the golden jubilee of the USIBC, I am confident that your work will remain a guiding force of collaboration between our two nations. I wish all of you the very best. It was the Roman philosopher Seneca who said, if one does not know to which port one is sailing, no wind is favorable. I hope we all know our port of destination. Thank you very much once again, and have a wonderful morning.